TZ125 GP bike, except it's not. It's got a Honda engine in there, specifically one from a 150R. So this is a Yamaha TZ125 with a Honda CRF150R engine in it. It's sacrilege, I know. If I could have gotten it with the two-stroke, I absolutely would have, but it was built for this. These bikes are incredibly rare. The engines are basically non-existent, and full bikes are going for like $16,000. Did not pay that for this bike. Let me show you a little bit of the beauty shots, because honestly, I've been staring at this bike ever since I got it. It just sits here looking beautiful. I've even managed to take this bike out on the track already, but that's kind of where I found out it has a few issues, and I have a few issues. First things first, this is me standing next to the bike, and it's on a stand. So, it is a very small bike. Very, very small. Swinging the leg over it, it's pretty tight. It's pretty tight. I gotta work my foot back onto the footrest to really get into position. And then if I want to shift, okay, and back. Now, I'm not wearing a suit or boots or anything like that. And it's already kind of a struggle, so I think you can see where I'm going with this. I don't fit on this bike. In fact, my head is completely clipped in this shot because I can't get both myself and the bike in the frame. So, it's that small. Alright, I'm out here at Apex Racing Center over in Paris, California, and we're going to be taking the TZ150R for a nice little spin. We're going to keep it very mellow at first and then ramp our way up. I really just want to get accustomed to the bike and kind of feel it out. I have not ridden this bike at all. This is the first time right here at the track, not even up and down the block. It is nice and busy at the track. The Survival Moto School is here with Bucky Sacrilege, and they were doing some awesome laps on their R3s. I'm going out in the beginners group. I know I'm going to be pretty slow on this thing for the first few laps, so it's definitely a good place to start. Yeah, there was supposed to be a downshift there before that corner, but I couldn't actually get it to engage. I think I have the shifter angled too far down, so when I stepped on it, it didn't actually pull it far enough to engage in a downshift. So there were several points around the track where I would try and upshift and it just wouldn't get into gear. I think this is a combination between where I have the gear lever positioned as well as just kind of the linkage hitting the frame and everything. So once I sort that out, I think this will be a much smaller issue. So after a few laps of getting some heat into the tires, I actually finally got my knee down and it felt really solid. The body positioning on this bike is actually really good. I'm a little bit tall, like I said before, but everything just kind of feels good. As long as I can push some things maybe an inch or two in the right directions, I think I've got a solid candidate here for like a really awesome track weapon. So the reason I'm braking so early into these corners is I'm downshifting and then I'm hauling my butt up onto the back fairing, like sitting on top of the fiberglass, so I can get my foot back far enough to actually get the pad of my foot onto the rear sets before I get to the corner. A few times I've gone in and my foot was just hanging off the peg because I just got my heel on it, so that's why I'm getting into these so early. was out at Apex riding this, I met a guy named Lee Parks, and he used to race these. So he gave me a few tips on how I could best fit on it. He said the tall guys used to space up and out the tail and seat as much as possible to gain a little bit more room. I think I'm going to go that route first. It seems to be the least intrusive. See how much I can get there. The other thing he mentioned was moving the bars forward as much as possible, basically until they're ready to hit the fairings here. Just move them up all the way. Because right now they're pretty pinched. And this bike is long, so you're like stretching out over it. Thin but long. The next thing I might try is maybe machining some new rear sets so I can drop the pegs and move them forward a little bit, because I have plenty of room up here. It's wedging my foot back and getting on the peg after shifting that's a problem. And then finally, the shift mechanism itself. I flipped it from GP to standard because I knew I was going to blow up the bike if I left it GP. I could probably move it a few more teeth here to get better engagement, but what I'm running into is it's contacting the rear sets. So I might have to do some clearancing and maybe try and space it out a little bit away from the frame and the rear sets. Shouldn't be too bad. I'll take a look at that first, I think. Get this thing shifting right. Then focus on the tail so I can fit. And then little ergos with the bars and whatnot. And then finally take a stab at the choke. The choke for the 150R is somewhere in right here, under the tank. You can't reach it with your hands, so you have to pull the tank off to get to it. I've got an idea for that. The hot start and the choke cables are kind of the same fastener to thread into the carb. I might see if I can put like a remote carb out here somewhere by the fuel petcock or something like that, just so I can get it started a little easier. That's my area of least concern, is the carb. So there we have it, the newest bike in the garage. It's by far the most beautiful. The paintwork is amazing. It was done by the previous owner, and I intend to keep it very pretty. I really don't want to drop this, so I'm going to be very careful with it at the track. It came with a set of tire warmers, which I've never used, so I'm going to have to go get a generator to use those at the track. I've already done some cold tearing at the track last time, so definitely going to be using those in the future. There's only a few things I got to change to kind of make myself fit. The bike itself runs beautifully, so I'm the problem here, so we're going to have to change it up for me. The exhaust on the other side, it's a little ugly, so I'll probably look into a solution for that as well. I'm super stoked, and I can't wait to take it back to the track when I can actually ride it. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garage. I'll see you on the next one.